Okay, welcome to our how to build a custom GPT session. Today, I'm going to walk you through why I use custom GPTs, how it saves me heaps and heaps of time, and also levels up my business intelligence. And for a gift for turning up today, I am going to share with you a custom GPT that you can set up and do it while we're talking as well. So, okay, I've got all these pop-ups. Everyone's note takers are in the room. um, all right, so to start off, let's kick off our session with letting me know. Do you use ChatGPT now? That's what I'd love to know. Anyone that's using ChatGPT now?
Perplexity a bit.
Perplexity, yep, excellent, yep, love it. Yes, often, excellent. Has anyone got custom GPTs that you're currently using? And Claude, yes, love Claude. Yes, you're using them often. Excellent. And no, I didn't know about them before. Okay, cool. No, yep. Okay. Have used custom GPTs. Okay, so my next question is, how many people are using other people's GPTs that have been already made? Yes. Okay, so yep, I am perfect. Excellent. Awesome. I'm going to show you a trick today on how you can get better answers out of those as well. All right, so my next question, has anyone actually built a custom GPT here today? Yes. Awesome. So the person, I'm just trying to see who said yes. So Sandra, what GPT have you built before? I'd love to know.
Just a marketing type one,
Yep.
just to help with writing copy and that sort of stuff.
Yep. Excellent. And how is it working for you now? Like, is that something that you're loving using, or is it you want to upgrade it?
I stopped using it because I moved to Claude.
Yep.
But I loved it. Yeah, absolutely loved it.
And if,
The thing I found was my chat got too long and
yep.
then it didn't work so well.
Yeah, amazing. Um, Here's the thing about what I'm going to share with you today is that Emma mentioned just before about using Perplexity. Here's the thing is that ChatGPT has come a long way over the last couple of years. So 2023 October was when we got access to ChatGPT. And back then, it wouldn't search the internet, it didn't cite sources, it was using old data sets from years ago. So the information that it had was like encyclopedias from the 70s. Like the information was good at the time, but it's only going to get you so far because it's not connected to the Wi-Fi, right? It's not connected to the internet. So what happened is I was introduced to Perplexity through one of my groups, and Perplexity enabled me to use the features of ChatGPT, but using it in real time, it would search the internet. Now, here's the thing. I know there's a couple of our members in the room here, is that I still use Perplexity all the time. And Sandra just mentioned about Claude. I use ChatGPT, I use Claude, I use Perplexity, I use Gemini. So these are my go-tos. And what I'm going to show you today, you're going to be able to use these skills across whatever AI assistant that you choose to use. So a custom GPT is what we call it over in ChatGPT. In Perplexity, they're called spaces. And over in Claude, they're artifacts. Over in Gemini, they're called gems. So each one of these AI assistants have got each one of these LLM models have got their own custom GPT ability, essentially, where you can set up custom instructions. So that's number one. So what I'm going to show you today is something that you can go over and set up elsewhere as well, because the fundamentals really don't shift. There are nuances with each AI model, but essentially today we're going to work in ChatGPT, and I'm going to show you a couple of cool hacks that will allow you to get better answers out of your GPTs that you're already using as well. So let's jump in. Today I'm going to do a live demo, and I'm going to share with you an AI assistant for you as well. Has anyone that has got a GPT set up? Has anyone got a business bestie, a generalist at the moment, program with their information? I can see your hand waving. Yes, for marketing. Awesome. Because of you, Deb. Thanks, Sharon. Like I said, we've got a few members in the room. So our members got access to our AI intelligence system that we've been rolling out this month. So they've got a more personalized business bestie that we've been building this month. But let's jump in. All right, so this is our AI masterclass series, and today we're going to build a custom GPT. We're going to build your business bestie. The reason why I like this is because there's, I guess, two kinds of GPTs or custom AI assistants that you can create. One's a generalist and one's a task-specific AI assistant. So those task-specific AI assistants are going to have information in there that you go in, you plug in a bit of information, and it will give you a set format for the task, the output. And they're awesome for automating repetitive tasks that you want to keep consistent, especially if there are people in your team that you also need to have consistency with. Is anyone here using like have a team of people that help with their business? Or have AI virtual assistants, or have a small team? Jen says it's amazing. Robert said, yes, you've got a team. Okay, so the beautiful thing what I'm going to share with you today is you can actually share this with your team and they can actually access this level of intelligence as well. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to build your business bestie live, and I'm going to share with you some common mistakes to avoid when you are building custom GPTs. And I'm going to share with you some information about where you can get further AI intelligence as well. All right, so here's what I love building AI assistants. It basically saves me time on repetitive tasks. And I'm literally building 3 this afternoon for one of my clients tomorrow. And I'm building 3 because I'm going to build a specific task-specific AI assistant for each department of the business. And what that means is I've already built their generalist, but I'm actually going to build so the people in each department has better intelligence. Yes, that's a really great question. I'm about to get to that. Sandra, you do need the paid version of whatever AI model that you're pretty much using these days, like whether it's Perplexity or ChatGPT. So for ChatGPT, it's $20 a month. For anyone that's using Perplexity, I'm going to share you a link on how you can get 12 months free Perplexity for the moment. They've got an offer on. So yes, you do need the paid version. But I can say that even me spending $20 on chat, $20, I don't pay $20 because I've got the free version with Perplexity because of the offer. I have Gemini in my Google Workspace, and Claude's $20. So really $40 a month, and for a like AI assistants that save me hours and make me money. That's the best investment I can make in my business. That's how I look at it. Okay, and this is what I'm saying is that this is 24/7. I can use these assistants, and I've got beautiful assistants in my team, virtual assistants, and they are amazing and I love them. But these tools help support what they do for me. So even if you have virtual assistants, I'm not saying that you guys are out of a job, but I'm saying is that we want to level up their intelligence so they can actually do a better job for us. So the next thing I want you to ask, and I'm actually going to share with you a sheet that you can actually write this in. So before I even go into there, I'm going to share this with you so you can actually do this while I'm talking with you. All right, I'm just going to put this in the chat. I also create with Replit AI. Cool. All right, so basically I've given you a little cheat sheet on how to create a custom GPT. I've given you the steps, and what I'm going to also get you to do is that when you go to create your own custom GPT, you can use this as a bit of a cheat sheet to just write down what does it do, what's the name of it, what's the description, the conversation starter, and the knowledge files. And then I always put my link in here. I have a playbook of all of my AI assistants, and I input this information into all of them there. So don't go down that rabbit hole. Stay with me for a second as I explain this to you. Okay, so first of all, we're going to ask, who is your target user? I'm building AI assistants this afternoon for one business who's a winery, and their target user is actually the department person. So I've got a wine club manager, I've got a winemaker, and I've got a cellar door manager, right? So I've got 3 different departments in there. And then their target user is the customer, the avatar of the person. But that's my target user. So in your instance, if you're building a business bestie like we are today, you're the target user. When I build AI assistants for our Content Catalyst members, I always make sure that I explain that it is for our members as opposed to the general public. Then I want you to think about, what problems are you trying to solve or automate? So when it comes to a generalist, for me, my generalist is all about having as much information holistically about my business and my brand and my audience and what I'm trying to achieve. Where when I want to automate a task, I want it to use best practices. So for example, when I was building my podcast, YouTube show note writer, I went and got all the experts of their best practices, and I compiled it into one AI assistant custom instruction. So that is one of my biggest things when I create any AI assistant. I always want best practices. And one of the things you'll find, and our members will find, is that I'll often update and upgrade their AI assistants, because in marketing, best practices change all the time. 3 years ago, you used to use 20 hashtags. Now they're irrelevant. That's one example of how digital marketing changes. And then what capabilities do we need it to carry out? What is the task? What is the output? And how do you want it done? Okay, so here's the thing with a custom GPT. We got to give it instructions so it remembers what you want it to do each time, which gives you consistency each time you use it. And that is my biggest reason why I love like custom GPTs. So this is the framework that I'm going to share with you about what makes a great GPT. First of all, we have to give it a role. We have to give it a task of what you want it to do. We have to give it as much information as you can to do the task. And then we want to give it some background. And here is the thing why I say background is really important, is because the more context you give it, the better the output it's going to give you. So I'm very, even when I'm just having general chit chats, I still use this framework with my business bestie every other day. And when you are building a custom GPT, you want to give it examples of the work that you want it to do. So if you want it to write a letter like this, I give it letters like this. So for anyone that uses AI to write blogs, for example, when you give it a blog that you've written that you love, that is exactly on point of what you like, it goes, cool, that's my reference point. So then it will always go back to that structure. And then whenever I am actually writing things, like I was updating some stuff on my website, in my checkouts, in my sales offers and things, I ran in, rewrote the blurb, and then I went back and pasted it in to say, can you remember this for next time of how I've written? So that's how I get better results out of my AI assistants each time. I'm just going back to the chat here. So you guys are talking about Replit, okay? Okay, so let's jump in. So we want to think about what role do you want your GPT to have? What task? So who, what, why, and how. So when it comes to this, how do I know about building GPTs? I've just built a full custom intelligence system for our members, which basically gives them their business DNA and their brand DNA. So when you ask ChatGPT or any other AI model a question, it gives you the exact information, because it knows your business, it knows your offers, your goals, your audience, your messaging, your keywords, and your content strategy. Your brand. Has anyone written blogs and emails and then it goes, it doesn't sound anything like me? Oh, and it's just like, that's not how I say. And that's because we don't have our brand vibe built in. And then I've also built it so it knows your type of style of content that you create, because there's no point in being emulating an extrovert online when really you're an introvert. It's like, thank you, Sharon. Sharon's one of our members, and she mentioned here in the comments that it's the best value and most useful thing she's ever joined. Thank you, Sharon. That's beautiful. But essentially, our brand DNA is because we want to have our tone, our voice, our vibe programmed into ChatGPT, whatever LLM you're moving, because that's the difference of what's going to make it in. So how I know to build all these GPTs is because I built that, and then I've also built like a whole squad, which I'm rolling out to all of our AI, to our Content Catalyst members at the moment, to help them with their brand visibility and also their lead generation. So I'm going to give you a business bestie today that we're going to build as an example inside ChatGPT. The difference between the one I'm going to give you today and the one that our members have got is that they've got next level intelligence because they actually have their brand and business DNA, which means that I call it the CEO because this CEO is programmed to manage all of these guys and keep them on track. So you'll get a light version of that today, and it'll still do a pretty good job of just giving you more than basic answers. So a couple of things that I see after building all of these GPTs, here are some of the common mistakes that I see with people when they use chat, whether it's to set up an assistant or just in everyday conversations. And that is they're too vague. And if you're too vague with AI, doesn't matter what program you're using, it's going to give you vague answers. So that's one of the things, and that's an example of help me with marketing versus give me a 4-week email sequence for new clients who just signed up for my bookkeeping services. And then who are the clients? Mistake number 2 is it's missing context. And that's what I'm saying about being able to create context, backstory, why you want something. So if I asked ChatGPT for some copy versus can you give me some copy for my checkout page for my offer because I'm presenting a webinar today, then it's going to give me much more specific information. And then the other thing that I'll say, the other top 3 mistake that I see people make is overwhelming instructions. And if I go back to this for a minute, this is why I have separated AI assistants and not all of these AI assistants in one. If you give AI or ChatGPT a task to do with very specific instructions, it will do it really, really well. If you give it too many instructions, it'll drift off, it'll lose track, and it'll hallucinate. So this is, and Sandra's nodding her head because she knows exactly that this is what happens, right? So this is the reason why I have a generalist, and then this generalist is in charge for all of these assistants to make sure that that information is on brand. So if we overwhelm instructions, then it's going to just go off on a tangent. And if you can, and I'll give you an example. I've got one AI system is my monthly content planner. It took me probably about 2 months of creating it and then refining it to get it to the output that I wanted it. So that is my biggest thing, is that sometimes I can put together a GPT like that, like really quickly. But then other times, if I'm building a more complex output, especially if it's a diagnostic tool, it can take me a bit of time to actually develop that. And these guys here is a really classic example of that. These guys are really big, chunky, complex instructions. So it took me nearly 6 months to build, of going back and refining it and testing it and refining it and testing it. But some others I can build within like 10 minutes. So it depends on the complexity, but I'm just going to say that after building all of this, this is the thing, is that if you overwhelm them with too many instructions and trying to get them to do too many party tricks, they'll just crash and burn. So that's my biggest thing that I would say. So let's just jump over to the ChatGPT. I'm just going to open up a... Now, you can see here that I've got a lot, and that's not even half of them that are over here. Okay, so we're just going to go and you'll click on to your ChatGPT. So that's probably what yours is going to come up with. And then when you go into your interface here, we're going to click on GPTs. Now here you'll find a whole library of AI, of custom GPTs that other people have built and have published them live in the ChatGPT store. So if I wanted to do, and I was doing this the other day with somebody, recipe maker. If I just type in a couple of keywords, it will do a search in the whole library and find what's available basically. And I was very vague, but you can see that recipe maker is vague. But if I went into going gluten-free, Emma, I can't see your screen, Deb. Thank you. Thanks, Jen. I'm like, that's a common thing that Jen always keeps me track of, that I do that.
You are sharing though, Deb. You are sharing.
Thanks, Jen. Thank you. Okay, so if I type in more specific information, and this is why keywords are really important when you are creating any kind of content, is because recipe maker, gluten-free, all of a sudden now I've got gluten-free recipe maker, and I can just click on one here. And then I can start a chat. Okay, so when I go into a GPT, you can see there that there's a little icon. We've got the description, we've got who it's by, and then we've got the description of what it will do for us. And then these are called conversation starters, and we can program all of these things in here. So if I just click on some gluten-free snacks to bake, it'll then go off and hopefully ask me questions in here as well, depending on how things are set up. Now, I have analyzed a lot of people's GPTs, and there are ways on how you can peek behind the curtains to see how people have programmed them, to see whether they're a good or bad one. But I can pretty much see that it hasn't asked me any qualifying questions to start with. So I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I'm just going to say that, you know, I like to always have an interactive tool. Cool. All right. So that's an example if you haven't seen a GPT in action. So I'm just going to click back over to here, and then we're going to go up and we're going to create. Now, for anyone that has GPTs that you've already made, right next to it, you'll see GPTs. And you'll see all of my, like, lots of them. You can see I make a lot. Okay. And so, yeah, I've got lots in here. But we're just going to go back up to the top there again, and we're going to go create GPT. Now it'll come up like this. So there's a couple of things. I just want to check comments. Okay, so what I recommend is, if you want to build this with me together now, is just follow these steps as I'm doing it. So it'll come up with create. Now this will actually help you write a GPT custom instruction, but I'm going to show you what that will deliver as an example in the end, and why when you configure it yourself, you will get a better answer. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go over to configure. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to upload a little image. I like to have all of mine recognizable, so I upload my favicon. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to our little sheet that I gave you, and you're going to click on Business Bestie. Now, for any of our members, please don't do this, because I have given you your custom instructions from from Monday's session, and yours is supercharged powered for intelligence. This is a generic version of it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to just copy this whole information. Now, you can see here that I've highlighted something in yellow, and that's because this is where you're going to create the little bit of information about this. So when you open up this sheet, go up to make a copy, and then you'll be able to edit this sheet. That's just something to note. So where it's got, I'm a business owner creator, then I would put in here, I am a marketing strategist and I run Content Catalyst membership. Okay, so just put some information here. And then all you need to do is go up and copy that whole thing because I've already given it all for you. And then I'm just going to know, I'm going to go Deb's test business bestie. And then I'm going to go test. I need to write test on anything because I have a lot of ones that I get confused in here. So test. Okay. And then I'm just literally going to paste that in here. Just remember to go in and update that information in here. Now, I'm just going to say that the biggest thing when you write like when you create a business bestie is I like it to say, hey, Deb, how you going? So I like to actually just add a little line in here going, you can call me Deb with the occasional legend. You're so clever. Throw one in. Okay. So the reason why I do this is because I want to program mine with personality. Now, this is, like I said to you, the light version. Our members have seen my my God prompt in my business bestie, and it's pretty savage. Mine is a no fluff AI assistant, right? And when everyone was setting up theirs, I'm like, please tone it down to how you like it to talk to you. So this is the beautiful thing now is that you can go in and give it how much how much you want it to how you want it to speak to you, basically. So I'm like, mine's very direct. Mine's very sassy. So this is just a nice calm one for you. Okay, so you're just going to paste in your paste instructions. And then I'm going to go with let's chat. So you can put anything you like in here. Now I'm going to share something with you. I have these ChatGPT assistants set up for my clients. And what I do is I will have a business bestie set up for when I'm looking after them. And I will actually program it to say, hey, there's two people that'll use this. There's the owner and their name is this. And then there's Deb and she's the marketing strategist. And then I will actually put in here, it's Deb here. It's Deb here, or it's Fred here. Okay. And that way I will also then put up here, back up to here and saying, you can call me Deb. I would actually go up here to say, there are two people that are using this. And I would say that one is the owner and one is the marketing strategist, depending on, and then you can just add that instruction. So that way, when it clicks on here or here, it will automatically go, hey, Fred, how you going? As opposed to, hey, Deb, how you going, you legend, you're so clever, right? So that's how you can personalize it when it comes to dealing with your team. Okay, so then the next thing we need to do is add in your knowledge files about your business. This is the most important thing. And if I jump back over to giving it context when we're writing this, is we want to give additional specific information and we want to give context. Okay, we also want to give example of outputs. So for example, when I build my GPTs, I will actually generate a full example of it and then upload it in there so it knows the framework. So the more information you pop in there, the better. Nothing like some validation from your business bestie. Hey, Jen. Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing, right? I have actually programmed our business besties for Content Catalyst members to go, and this came to me one day because one of our members was just having a really crappy, she spent all weekend trying to work out some tech and she had videos to record and she was just like in a really fragile state. So I went, you don't need a bitch slap today. You need a little gentle hug. Okay, so I actually have built our members' business bestie to go, if they're feeling a bit fragile, don't worry, I've got you. Here's a warm hug, as opposed to, I think you've just been a bit of a slack ass and come on, let's go. So I kind of have like little nuanced personalities built in with these. Now, once you come back over to here, you're going to upload your file. So if you've got a brand board, chuck it in there. If you've got, so for all of our members that are inside Content Catalyst, you have your business DNA and you have your brand DNA and any other supporting files. If you're an author of a book, put your manuscript in here. I click mine to be data analysis because my GPTs are always data analysis machines. And that is literally your custom GPT ready to go. And I'm just going to create. Now, once you create it, you can only have it for you. If you want to share it with your team, for example, I have a business bestie that my team can access the link for. So every time they want me and I'm not available, they can actually just go over here, and Rose and Neil can just go over and ask and say, hey, can you write this email and make it sound like Deb? so that's, can you fix this up? So you can share it with someone. And if you want to make a GPT public, you can do that. I don't have my GPTs public. I share them with people that in our membership and then also with you guys like here. So I have them either with a link. What I do recommend though is as soon as you go to save it, it's going to take a moment. It's having a think about it. I've got too many tabs open. It's going to give you a link. I want you to copy that and I want you to paste it in here. So when you do your GPTs, okay, so I'm just going to call it business bestie. And then I always paste in my description and I always paste in my conversation starters, and I will link here my knowledge files. And the reason I do this is because I use multiple AI assistants. So I could take this, I can go over to Perplexity and I can set up a space. I can go over to Claude and I can pop it over there. I can go over to Gemini. And I was over in Gemini playing the other day because their image generator is next level. And I was just having a chat about something and it was so vague. And I went, watch the difference now when I put my business bestie instructions in it. It was just like somebody had flicked on a light switch and went, hey, Deb, hey, go on, let's go. What are we working on? And so it instantly gives your business bestie a personality. All right. So now you've got that. I'm going to just touch on something for a second. When you go and use this, let me go. I just want to figure it. Just quickly save that again. It's going to take a moment. How are we going, everyone? Is everyone building there while we're talking? Jen's already done hers. Sharon's done hers. Okay, so once it's given me, I can view that GPT. And now I'm ready to give it a go. Now, there's a couple of things to note with this, is that up here, it's going to default to the latest model. So when ChatGPT comes out with number 5, number 6, number 7, it will come up here. You do need to go in and update your models and give them updates. Otherwise, it will just default to whatever it's the latest model. If you want more complex thinking of it, you can actually change here and get the thinking version, but you can also do it here. If I want to edit it at any time, like I said, I always go in and give mine, just like you update your phone, your ISO update, you can go in and update any instructions. Now, my biggest thing is whenever I build GPTs, I always go in and test and refine, test, refine, test, refine. And this is probably the part that I'll spend the most on, is actually the refining of the GPT. And when you come back down to here, if you haven't already, you can connect your Google Drives and things like that. If you want to upload files, you can. You can dictaphone things. So if you're a slow typer, you can press your little microphone, or you can use voice mode where it'll speak back to you. So I can just go, it's Deb here. There it is, Deb, the legend has arrived. And now it's all of a sudden got a personality. Okay, so I can then just go in and have a little chat with it. I use my business bestie multiple times every day. And I also have business besties set up for my clients. I've got business besties set up across multiple AI models. So it just gives it consistency. And the trick is when you're building these is making sure that you have got as much information in those knowledge files. So this is an example. Actually, let me just jump out. I just want to really quickly show something before we get into this. So when you go over to GPTs and you go create a GPT, if you just go over here, you can actually get it to write you, what would you like me to make? I would like you to make a recipe planner for gluten-free food. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but it's the first thing that comes to my mind. Okay, so it'll just go off and it'll do a little Q&A with you. I want to just give you a little bit of a heads up when you do use this. It's a great beginner, but I was using it as a tester just before to build it for a wine club manager, right? I went in and built it. So there it is there. So I built it. It already just did the conversation starters for me. It did it all for me. So it's automatic. But then I was like, I want to see what's behind the hood. And I grabbed it and then I analyzed the instructions. Well, no, Perplexity did, let's be honest. And and then I went, okay, does this follow the framework of what makes a good prompt? Remember this? And then it analyzed it and it got a few things right. It gave it a role, it gave it like some context, but this is the difference between generic versus great, is that it was missing. So if I scored it, it got a 3 out of 5. And you're going, well, it's only 2. And I'm like, yeah, but those 2 is what makes a really good GPT. It knew its role, it knew the task, but the biggest thing it mixed was the context of the background. And it didn't have output examples. So those 2 things is where it just was a very average GPT versus one that was really good, really good. It had no context of, was it a wine club for a winery or for just anyone or for a bottle shop? It had no idea of the wines or the region or the target audience. And so because of that, it was a pretty average GPT, even though GPT created it. So when I'm saying to you is when you are building your GPTs, use that framework. Go back to that framework, okay? Because if you do that, you will get better answers. Now, if you go, oh, that's too bloody hard, that hurts my brain. I have built a whole marketing suite for you, so you don't have to do that, which are plug and play. Now, the beautiful thing is when you actually have a business bestie that is highly programmed with your business DNA and your brand DNA, when you go to use a ChatGPT over here, and I'm just going to jump out of this. So this is my CEO, not my test one, and it won't do it because one of the things I find whenever I'm sharing on Zoom, it doesn't like to do it. But if you press, oh, there it is. Oh, it's thinking about it. If I press the @ sign and I then go in, it will then find all of my AI assistants, and it will use my intelligence of my business bestie, but it will use my plug and play instructions. So that's how you can take anyone's generic GPT and supercharge it with your knowledge, is when you go into your business bestie and bring it into ChatGPT. Does that make sense? Now, that is probably one of the best features that I love with ChatGPT over the other language models. So now when I give it that instruction, I'm like, to make a tutorial. And then it'll go in and ask me the questions. So we'll use the intelligence from there, but it'll be supercharged with what I want. And you can see here that it's asking me all the questions that I've programmed into the showrunner, which helps me write out my podcast or YouTube episodes. So that is how we get it to do the thing. So when I look at the critical gap when you are doing these, this is my rule of thumb whenever I'm prompting or building GPTs, CCRRO. So you always got to give it clarity, give it context, give it a role, refine, 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 refine. Like never take the first answer AI gives you, and then always be really specific about the output. Do you want it in a table format? Do you want it in bullet points? Do you want a summary? Do you want a comprehensive long page of things? And therefore you will get much better answers. Now, for anyone that does want to jump into Content Catalyst, this month we are working on our own AI blueprint, which is your AI, your business DNA and your brand DNA and your business bestie that will supercharge the whole team of AI assistants. We meet 3 times a month, and you'll get your plug and play AI assistants. There's about 12 in there at the moment, and then you get your brand DNA and your business DNA generator. Each month we talk, well, we don't just talk, we do strategy, video, and then planning. We just had our planning session, so we've gone into October with a plan in our hand. The whole point of Content Catalyst is to generate visibility so you can make leads and convert those leads to sell your offer. And we do that with clarity with your business DNA and your brand DNA. So it goes through and has a questionnaire and asks you the questions. Now, for anyone that is a member, we're about to plan our, each quarter I do an in-person event. Sharon, there's Sharon. Where else is Sharon? There's Sharon. And there's Sharon. So we do a quarterly in-person day, and we did a planning day back in January for our goals, and then we had a content day, and then we did our AI assistant day, and there's Liz, we did a in-person extra day as well. So that's some of the things that we do apart from what's online. Now, I do them in the Hunter Valley for free, and then I also do them around Australia for a small subsidized charge. And basically, for anyone that does want to get access to Content Catalyst, you can get your brand DNA and your business DNA generator now, and all the AI assistants are going to be rolled out over the next coming weeks with our planning. Everyone's got access to a handful of AI assistants ready to go. Next week, I'm rolling out our video script makers for everyone. So for anyone that does want to join today, you get a one-to-one strategy session with me, and you'll also get a tech check. I know Ruth had just said before, I don't know how to use my microphones and set that up. We do a tech check session with you. And then, of course, you'll get a content audit report as well, so you know what platforms need a little bit of love with your bio and things like that. So that is basically what we have today for anyone that does want to come into our community. But for all of our other members, we will be doing a tech check session anyway for our latest members that have just come in. And they have also got access to their AI assistants now as well. So I hope that was helpful for you today. Let me know in the comments or take yourself off mute. Was that helpful for you? Did you find that a helpful session? It's all coming together in my mind slowly. After you create your own GPT, does it retain information so you can open a new chat for a new task? Yes. So Sally, that is exactly why we build a custom GPT, because I don't know about you, but I get sick of repeating myself. And so when we actually build a custom GPT that is got the task that it needs to do. You give it the instructions and it will remember those instructions for each time you go and task and have a conversation with it. And that's how we keep consistency with the content. And, you know, a good example is when I go to do my, I'll go in here. Let me just jump into one of my AI assistants. Where's my producer? That one here. So this is one of my AI assistants here, the producer, and it will write me optimized show notes. I hate trying to find things in my filing system. So if I go in and I just grab one of my transcriptions from one of my podcast episodes, I can come up to here, grab that transcription. And I can just click the button and it will just create my show notes that are optimized for SEO and all my business information on it. I'm just reading, very helpful, especially need to refine. Amazing session. Thank you. As a total beginner, my head is spinning. Yes, Candy. That is why often it's really good to go in and see things multiple times, because it just helps our brain to absorb it and make sense of things. But today was just, I could yabber on about this for days, as you could probably imagine. I completely geek out on this thing. Okay, so there's some really great questions that have come up here. So, and look, as a total beginner, what I do say, that AI assistant that I've given you is the best place to start. Set that up and have just a conversation with it. Because as you can see, this is my task specific one, and it's literally given me my time, like my whole episode with titles, the opening part, the episode summary, timestamps, and what to do next, and how to work with me. And it's already pre-programmed with all my links. That saves me so much time, but it also saves my team time doing that, right? So every time I have to go, oh, I've got to go and copy and paste my LinkedIn and my thing, that's time. And this is why these assistants save so much time. As a total beginner, yeah. So start with your business bestie and then just play with it. Have conversations with it every day because it'll get to know you. The next thing was the coaches one. I have you teach it about yourself over and over again. The coaches one I have, you have to teach it about yourself over and over again. Okay, Sally, the thing is that they're your knowledge files. So that brand, that business DNA, so this is my business DNA here. This takes you about, so this is part one, and it will go through and it will do a Q&A session with you, and it will extract your business, and it will give you an output of your goals, your audience. It will give you your goals, your audience, and it will just go through as a business coach and actually ask you all the questions that you need to get a full business DNA. And then you can stop repeating yourself, because this becomes your knowledge file for all of your AI assistants. Evelyn said, what about the privacy of information on ChatGPT? That's a fantastic question. Look, here's the thing with privacy. I would, as much as ChatGPT, OpenAI have assured our privacy with things, there is always the question with AI that, and I talked about this in my trends for end of last year, security with AI is going to be one of the biggest things that we're going to be talking about over the next year. There's going to be a lot of focus on that. At the moment, and this is why I say at the moment, all of your information that is in here is held into ChatGPT's like server. It's locked and it's private, while ever you've got the private settings private. But if you don't want something in there to be known, like where you buried the body and that kind of thing, it's like, then don't upload it in there, right? It's like, because this is the thing with AI at the moment. There will be a lot of laws that will come into place with privacy and protection. America's like going next level with stuff at the moment. But yeah, I would just say that if you don't want information spread anywhere. Make sure your privacy settings for your GPT are set to just you. What was the link for the free Perplexity deal? That's a great question. Rose, can you grab that out of Facebook for me, please, out of our Facebook group, and paste that into the group chat. So for anyone that doesn't know, PayPal has got an offer. So all you need to do is connect your PayPal with your Perplexity and you will get 12 months free Perplexity. So here's why I use both, is because Perplexity for me searches real time, and as a marketer, I'm always about real time data, and yeah, and I can use different AI assistant models over there. I'm not going to show you that now because I'll go down a rabbit hole and I have to stay focused. Sally said, well, you changed my life when I learned how to use CapCut in one of your free webinars, and here we go again. Look, here's the tool I can just say is that the reason why I created Content Catalyst was to help people get visible, but also I'm a marketer and these are the tools that I use every day. And so I use it for myself, but also for my clients and my members that need their stuff too. So I come from a very pragmatic background. So if I need it, you'll probably need it as a business owner as well. So that is why this membership has helped my brain so much. Thank you. Yeah. Also, that remember that all systems can be hacked. Absolutely, Robert. Yeah. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what system that you're putting your information in, whether it's Google, whether it's whatever, you know, I don't think anything's private these days. I swear my phone's been taking photos of me at some stages. Just takes little photos. Yeah. Don't do anything wrong. That's all I can say. Be nice people, be good people. So that concludes our session. If anyone would love to work further, the Inside Content Catalyst for next month, I'll be rolling out our next part of our visibility team, which helps people actually create your content and repurpose it across platforms as well. And you'll get access to all of the blueprint generator that's in here now. So you can access that now, and your brand DNA. These are your absolute knowledge files. And then you'll actually get access to your business bestie on steroids, which is going to manage all of your AI assistants as well. I'm going to stop recording now. Thank you so much for joining me for today, and let me know in the comments, what should I do next? What would you like to learn about next?